Senator Ted Cruz of Texas joins us. Senator, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning. It's great to be with you.
Are you the most conservative candidate in the Republican field?
Well, right now I'm the only announced candidate in the Republican field, so I guess it's sort of like what my mom would say. I'm her only child, and she would say you're my favorite son, but then she'd quickly remind me I'm her least favorite son as well.
But is that your plan, to be the most conservative?
Look, my plan is to speak the truth and to defend common sense conservative values. I think millions of Americans recognize the path we're on. It isn't working, and they're looking for a change that they want to get back to the free market principles and the constitutional liberties the country was built on.
It's such an interesting response, because your supporters would say Ted Cruz should come here and say, yes, he's going to be the most conservative candidate in the field. That's why I like him.
Look, I think part of it is the basic values of this country are common sense conservative values. Live within your means. Don't bankrupt your kids and grandkids. Follow the Constitution. I mean, it's only in Washington that those are viewed as radical or extreme propositions. In most of America, you get people, Republicans, Democrats, independents, libertarians, who come together and say, look, that just makes common sense.
Senator, you say that if you're elected, you would repeal the Affordable Care Act. But since its passage, 16 million people have become insured. So how would you take that away from them?
Well, you know, those numbers don't tell the whole picture. For one thing, the bulk of those numbers are coming from expanded Medicaid. And Medicaid is a program where a lot of the people on Medicaid are not getting health care. Medicaid is a system that is already overburdened, and more people are just getting waiting lists and not actually getting health care. Beyond that, remember, 6 million people had their health insurance canceled because of Obamacare. You're not doing someone a favor if you cancel the health insurance they like and then force them to buy new health insurance at higher premiums that covers less. And I can tell you, people are frustrated. You know, 5 years ago, maybe good faith, reasonable minds could have differed on whether Obamacare might have worked. At this point, it is the single largest job killer in this country.
Can I ask you about some of the news that's in the headline, what you would do as President of the United States? We know that ISIS, or a group close to ISIS, has posted the names of 100 service members. Should we have boots on the ground in Syria and Iraq?
We need seriousness to destroy ISIS, and we need to do whatever it takes militarily to accomplish that.
So that includes boots on the ground?
Look, it could, but part of the problem is this is debated as a political matter in Washington. This should be a military question. What is necessary to defeat ISIS? We have boots on the ground right now with the Kurds. The Kurds are there. The Peshmerga, they're fighting forces. They're effective. They have been allies of the United States for decades. Even though America has not been terribly consistent allies to the Kurds have stood with us. They are fighting ISIS right now. ISIS is using American military equipment that they seized in Iraq, and the Kurds don't have the weaponry. Unfortunately, the administration is sending the weapons to Baghdad. I think the Kurds can be our boots on the ground, at least our principal boots on the ground, and we should use overwhelming air power.
And let me ask you about Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Do you think it's more important to remove him or to remove ISIS? Which should happen first?
I think ISIS is the far greater threat. And so when President Obama proposed a unilateral military attack against Assad,
So leave Assad in power and take on ISIS first.
The touchstone for our foreign policy should be vital U.S. national security interest. Assad is a monster. He is murdering his own people, but I don't believe he poses a clear and present danger to America.
Assad does not.
Assad does not.
Final sentence, final sentence. You should be elected president because, just one sentence.
Because I'll tell the truth, and I'll do what I said I would do.
All right. We shall see. Senator Cruz, thank you very much.
Thank you,
You're the
Gail.
first candidate out there.
Thank you, Senator.
Glad.
Senator, thank you very much, sir.